Mega Man 5 for the Game Boy. This was the first Game Boy version of Mega Man which didn't use the enemies of the NES title. This one had its own story and opponents. The game starts with Mega Man being defeated by a guy named Terra. After finishing off Mega Man, Terra and his group of robots, called the Star Droids, attack the Earth. After being equipped with a new weapon, Mega Man leaps into battle. Mega Man 5 has great music and awesome graphics for a Game Boy title. In fact, the graphics seem to be a bit too much, since slowdowns sometimes occur and the characters start to blink when there's too much stuff on the screen. The game itself is regular Mega Man style. You shoot, you slide and collect power-ups in form of weapons and upgrades for Rush. After beating the Star Droids, you face off with Dr. Wily, but to everyone's surprise, he is not the final boss. Sunstar is the final guy you have to beat. Overall, Mega Man 5 is a great game with minor graphic flaws, but a great variation of opponents, music and levels.
If you ever wondered what would happen if you mixed the original Mega Man series with the portable Battle Network games, this is your answer. Mega Man Network Transmission on the Nintendo GameCube is a game that doesn't mind conjuring up memories of the Blue Bombers' 8-bit glories. The basis of the game is traditional platforming, but combines this with various special abilities provided by battle chips. Set in between Battle Network 1 and 2, Lan and his Navi Mega Man must uncover and remove the virus that is wreaking havoc by infecting Navis and making them run wild over the internet. The game itself has great cel-shaded graphics with awesome looking boss intros and remixed music from earlier games. The game's control can take a little while to get used to because of the need to switch chips on the fly, but the inclusion of pausing during chip changes helps, although it can make the gameplay a little stuttered. The game can seem very difficult to begin with, especially during boss battles, but stick with it because the game feels easier the further you progress. Overall, there is a lot to like in this original game, especially if you're a fan of either series.
That crazy Dr. Weil is at it again. After forcing humans out of Neo Arcadia, labeling them as Mavericks, the good old Doc decides that they all need to die. How does he carry out this task? Operation Ragnarok! Mega Man 04 was badass. In fact, Zero is just plain badass. Why? Because in 04, they upped the badassness of Zero by giving him the ability to rip your enemy's limbs off and use said limbs as weapons of chaos and destruction. I mean, come on, you could kill the baddies, or you could slaughter them with their own appendages. Take your choice. 04 also had this weather system that changed a lot of the levels around, unlocking places that were unavailable before, actually giving you a reason to replay the levels. The only thing that wasn't so hot about 04 was the ending. I mean, seriously, why did he have to go? I mean... why? Zero... Come back to me!
Mega Man ZX Advent on the Nintendo DS picks up 7 years after the first one. Vent and Isle are replaced by Gray and Ash as the protagonists. Gray is a failed Reploid boy whom Pandora is seeking to destroy, whereas Ash is a treasure hunter with Prometheus hot on her trail. Both of them end up finding Model A, which has the ability to copy DNA from other Volsroids. You then meet the Sage Trinity, who are seemingly searching for parts of Model W to destroy them. Of course, nothing goes that simple, but you have to play to find that out. This game has a much better soundtrack and many more animated scenes than its predecessor, as well as an increased difficulty level in both enemy intelligence and stage design. The final stage alone took me like 10 different lives to beat. Plus, the map system has been revamped and is now easier to use. You can look at the area by itself, see the doors, etc. You also have the ability to transform into any of the bosses, including the 4 models from the first game as well as Model ZX. And that plays really well into some puzzles. If you're a fan of the series, definitely pick this one up. It's the best Mega Man in a long time.
After a couple X titles on the Super Nintendo, Capcom decided to bring the classic Mega Man series into the 16-bit era with improved graphics and sound. All the things you could expect from a Mega Man game are back, including the Mega Buster, the Slide, and Rush. While not including as many hidden items as the X series, you can still find cool upgrades like Proto Man's Shield or the S adapter, which merged Rush and Mega Man together and gave you a jetpack and rocket punch attack. This entry was also important for introducing the character of Bass, the evil Mega Man wannabe, and Treble, the evil Rush. Although both are pretty much a pushover, and Bass still doesn't even touch Proto Man in the coolness department. The best secret is a hidden fighting game for 2 players with Mega Man and Bass performing the Street Fighter style special moves. Sweet.
Back in 2006, the PSP saw the release of a remake of the original Mega Man. Mega Man Power Up, with improved graphics and music, brought back to life the origins of the Blue Bomber, featuring 2 main game modes, Old Style, which is basically the old game just as you remember it, but with the new cute graphics, a new Style mode in which 2 new Robot Masters were included, Time Man and Oil Man, changes in the stages, different difficult settings, and a dozen of playable characters make one of the best PSP games and one of the best Mega Man games ever. As a bonus, the game also included the challenge mode and my personal favorite, the construction mode, that allows you to create the stages and share them online. This is one of the finest Mega Man games out there, and if you got a PSP you might as well give it a try. I'm sure you won't be disappointed.
With the celebration of Blue Bomber's 10th anniversary, Capcom released the 4th installment of the X series for the PlayStation. Mega Man X4 took all the good elements from the past 3 X games and moved it to a new generation console with a screen top. The music, graphics, the gameplay, the characters, etc. feel refreshingly new and give the game a unique personality. Possibly the most outstanding point in this game is that finally you have the choice to play the game as Zero. This time Capcom tried to make the story less flat than in other games from the series, with the addition of dialogues between characters and nice anime cuts to help the story's developments, and thanks to Capcom they do have cheesy voice acting. Also in this game we learn some secrets from Zero's past.
Mega Man 3 on the NES is easily one of the best games in the franchise, and remains one of my personal favorite games of all time. Not only do I have my own original copy of it in the box, but I also got it signed by Keiji Inafune himself. But enough about me, Mega Man 3 beats many of the other Mega Man games in the series. The story is just about as cheesy as the others. Dr. Wily has seemingly found the error of his ways, and wants to help Dr. Light build a peacekeeping robot. In order to do so, they need 8 power crystals from all over the world, which happen to be guarded by Robot Masters. This is the game that introduces Rush, Mega Man's dog. He could boost Mega Man's jump with the spring on his back, and he could transform into a submarine or a jet. It also introduced the ability to slide, as well as Mega Man's brother Proto Man. You have to fight him a couple times in the game, and for some reason at one point he's known as Breakman. On top of that, the game features the 8 Robot Masters from Mega Man 2. Given its amazing soundtrack, length, and just overall funness, Mega Man 3 more than earns its spot as one of the greatest games of all time.
In 1993, Nintendo finally decided to shit or get off the pot with Mega Man, and they finally released him onto the Super Nintendo. This started a new series entitled Mega Man X. This also marked another difference in the Mega Man series in that Dr. Wily was not the bad guy. The new bad guy was someone named Sigma, another android, and there was a few other new characters, some of which include Zero, Vile. There was new enemies, new bosses. You could also obtain armor pieces. There were 4: the boots, the torso, and the helmet, and the X-Buster. Also, fun fact: there's also a secret power-up to allow Mega Man to use the Hadouken Fireball from Street Fighter.
In the late 80s, Capcom released what, in many people's opinions, was the pinnacle entry into the Mega Man series, and may very well be one of the greatest game releases of all time. And if you don't believe me, just check this out. This game has everything going for it. Imagine a game that takes everything good from its predecessor, essentially eliminates the majority of the bad, and revolutionizes the way for games of the future. And this is what you'll get. Mega Man 2 introduced us to the E-Tank, the all-familiar password system, started the ongoing tradition of having 8 Robot Masters, and brought us the movement items, the Genesis, K9 sidekick Rush. So if you noticed any of these features in future Mega Man games, and I'm sure you have, you can thank all of that to Mega Man 2. Bring all this to the table on top of awesome and memorable music, well-designed, challenging, beautiful stages, with awesome boss fights and weapon abilities, and you have what may possibly be the definitive Mega Man game. If you haven't played Mega Man 2, what are you waiting for? Go get equipped with fighting for everlasting peace.